go first since I'm newcomer. I'm Kira. I'm a chef, and I pretty much came just to show some love on here. I'm very much into communication, so being asked to come was definitely a plus for me because I like having real talks with real people. So yeah.
We appreciate you.
Hey, it's your girl Lily, Instagram Alicia16. I do everything, hair, nails, makeup, everything you would basically want think of. Just here for the hood therapy and to get some things out that you need to get out.
So,
Hey, Amor, I got a
Mr.
question.
Oh God, what's up?
Can we do a women's empowerment episode today?
Ooh,
Of course, I'm always about the women empowerment.
That's what I like.
Let's go.
You gotta give the ladies the flowers. It's a bunch of negativity.
Oh, we appreciate it.
You know, people always saying a bunch of negative stuff about our women, especially our Black women. You get what I'm saying? So today we're gonna make sure we dedicate to showing a lot of love to y'all today.
To the women that made women, that's women. You hear me? So everybody, we thank y'all. But first of all, I got to give hats off to my mama, right? Because she's one of the reasons I'm here. So big shout out to the mamas.
Because no matter what, I feel like to separate in our generation, I feel like we're at the age now where we can appreciate what our parents and our mothers, of course, did for us. They're usually the rock of the family. So, I mean, you have those moments where you be like, man, but then it's just like, it's so much more understanding once you understand life. Like, it's just so much more that can happen and transpire. And I feel like that's when the mother-daughter relationships actually bloom because it's much more understanding and there's not so much resentment and holding against,
Yeah, I agree with that. But I can't say anything about my mom because my dad raised me when I was 5. But I'll give a heads up to my aunts. Aunt Lisa, hey girl. But yeah, my aunts and the family around us that made me. So I can't say too much about my mom, but heads up to my dad and my aunts who stepped up when my mom couldn't. So
big ups to the village, man.
Right.
The village plays a great part, and I think, growing up, man, I wish they just be quiet. Bro. What are they talking about? They always want me to go to the store. They always want me to do this and want me to do that. And then we turn around and probably do the same thing to our kids sometimes, like, yo, you was just right there with the remote, Mom. Why you call me? I was all the way downstairs. You know what I mean? But it comes with the territory, but I do agree with you both that it definitely takes understanding. And that's why I think it's truly important for us, even if we are parents or, we're aunts or anything like that, it's important for us to get to know these children and not to just assume like, because I'm an adult, you're going to listen to me. Because an adult, you're not always right. We don't always have a formula. There's no proper way to this parenting thing. People can give you their opinions all they want, but you know what I mean? Like different strokes for different folks and even different love for different people. You can't love everybody the same way either. I'm learning that. Look, I'm the oldest of like a lot of kids. You feel me? I'm gonna just say a lot of kids. You know what I mean? So, and my dad, bro, like, he knows he can't love us all the same because we different personalities, doing different things. And bro, some people may need a little more love than some others. For sure.
I like what you said, though. I like that Lily said that her aunt stepped up in the moment that her mother couldn't. Not that, it just sheds that, that positive light on whatever the situation was, that she still, has that love, that respect, and, that is her mother. And no matter what, she still had that, peace for her.
And the battles that she had to go through. But the result, she came through when I got a little older, but she had to go through her battles just like we go through battles that we didn't know our parents went through. So at least
Savior.
Yeah.
So I have a question for both of you ladies, right? Mm-hmm. Do you believe that sometimes, no matter who the person may be, that they are come into our lives or leave our lives and then we may or may not need them?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, me, I am a big person of faith. Like, so just living by that and growing up in that, I feel like you have to know that that thing of having something for a season, and that you having to show the lesson learned or whatever that you need to show to get to that next height, or to get that next blessing, or to get that next thing given to you. Definitely you have to understand the journey and how things are going to be inputted and output for you and during different times of your life. So yes, I definitely believe that.
Yeah, I agree
Awesome.
with you with that, because you can have somebody in your life as for a middle school or high school friend, don't mean they're supposed to be on that journey when you're an adult. They was there to teach you something at that moment, and you're supposed to move on. So yeah, I definitely think everybody's in a different season, and you're supposed to learn from them or keep them with you. It depends on who the person is.
Mm-hmm.
So have you, in your season, have you ever had a time where you was like, you love the person so much that you was just trying to hold on to them, even when you
Oof.
knew they ain't belong in that next season of yours?
They wasn't even supposed to be in there and from the beginning.
No,
And
really.
See, I ain't want to say all that. I ain't want to say all that. But
No.
since you said it, let's go ahead and emphasize.
You, like I'm saying, you get the red flag in the beginning, just like a relationship. The guy come into your life, you're doing this, you're doing that, you profiting, you're doing your music and things like that. But then he come in your life and you see the shortcomings, but you're like, I'm gonna make him better, because the mom in you like, I'm gonna make him better, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. But you knew he wasn't supposed to be there, and then he shatters everything in your life, and now you start going back to square one. So it's
Mhm.
like certain people you're supposed to talk to, hi, and keep it moving versus bringing them into your work.
Yeah.
Mm.
Also, I feel like since we shouting out, our women, moms always know, they try to give you that little, that little pinch, like, and you don't want to listen. I feel like you definitely learn those lessons, early in life, especially when you first start dating. You just think you think you know what you feel. That feeling is just something that you know what to create of it. You think you know what to make of it, but you really don't, because you haven't experienced and you haven't learned. But I can say a lot of times that my mom told me no. Most likely it was definitely a no. So however, I just feel like that helps you build your character in life. It helps you learn the lessons that you need to learn. And I can't say that experience is the hard way of learning something, even though you might have had someone guide you in a certain way, simply because everybody don't go through the same experiences and they're not put in those situations in the same way.
Mm.
So the experience is always, different. And because we are all different, we maneuver different in these situations. So just because we have someone maybe feeding us, a good way, we can't say the way that we went wasn't good. However, we just didn't know what to make out of that situation at the time. So it's
Right.
just definitely something that you have to grow into. And definitely life always going to be a lesson at this point. I mean, being adults, you're going to learn that every day. Like, it's always enough
Life
going
be
to
life
say,
in.
yeah, I'm looking at you, like, what's up, what you doing, what you learned, like, let me see what you got for me today, so it's definitely something to keep your head on swivel about. And always, even as an adult, stay teachable. Like, always stay teachable. Definitely.
That right there, stay teachable. That right there sums it up all the time, because I mean, for real, my pastor told me, because I'd be like, I know. He'd be like, if you know so much, why are you in the situation you in?
Ooh.
And it makes you think like, oh yeah, you're right. Maybe I don't know, and it's okay not to know. That's something that I continuously have to remind myself. It's okay not to know, bro. Like, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay not to be okay. It's okay not to know. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to ask for help. Because, I think too, as women, and even men sometimes, we're groomed in a sense, depending on our upbringing. We're kind of groomed as to be in that survival mode.
Yes.
So as we connect with other people that may have been able to live their life, they don't necessarily understand as to why we are so guarded. Some of us were children, but never got to live a childhood. You know what I mean? So it's like we're constantly got our guard up. We try to be soft, but I think we try to be soft sometimes with the wrong people,
Mm-hmm.
and they don't appreciate the femininity that we try to walk in.
That's because times as a woman, we try to give what we lacked. That feeling of wanting to produce what we lack, because we just feel like at this point, because I lacked it, I've learned how to give it in my own way. But trust me, my way is going to be that stronghold you're looking for. However, it's just, it's levels. Why y'all getting juicy like that?
We supposed to. There's levels to this thing, just like an onion. We peeling back the levels right now. So yeah, if you want to go ahead and dive into them levels, by all means, go ahead and do your thing. I'm here to learn today.
Right.
But it's definitely levels. Like, I can't say like personally. So I wouldn't say I had a bad upbringing, but it was definitely rough. There was a lot of mistakes, you know, saying from an adult point of view now, that my mom made. However, growing up, you know, you're able to forgive, you're able to, you know, rework, rebrand, rejuvenate some things. I feel like growing up with that type of upbringing caused me to be guarded. I am the oldest of 5 siblings on my mother's side. So of course you become, you know, like that second parent in the home, especially with my mom being a single parent, majority, you know, of my upbringing. And it brings a certain resentment, to be honest. And it brings a certain maturity that I feel like the parent doesn't understand they have created within us, because they have, you know, held us on this certain tier of helping, responsibility, you know, and maturing, you know, at such a young age, that when you become an adult, you kind of have to, you got to relearn how to actually communicate, because, you know, in households like that, that communication not as open as you would like it to be. And, you know, the way you get to express yourself is not as open as you are able to be as an adult. So you have to learn to not be so closed off, and to actually, you know, appreciate the people who want to come in and can understand. Sometimes without you even saying anything, they can just feel the energy, or they just can see, you know, your actions, and they can just feel, or they know from experience, like the type of person you are, or, you know, just how you come about, or how you move, and what you expect or what you should receive, you know, from other people. It just gives a narrative first on yourself when you come out of that, because yourself gives off what other people are going to give to you. Those people you meet, whatever you give to them, that's how they're going to respond to you. If you allow people to disrespect you, that's what you're going to get. Sometimes you definitely have to, it's not sometimes, you always have to set the tone. Even if you feel like you know a person, or you're in a comfort zone with a person, you always have to set a tone for how a person should treat you, and what you're going to deserve. Them standards, them boundaries, create them.
I'm just going to exit. Like, was you on the phone with me and Mason earlier? Because I just feel like you just tapping on some things right now. Like,
because a lot of experience are so universal that people just don't understand, because you're not with these people universally when you're going through these things. So you don't always imagine, oh, the next person, oh, dang, you know, they've experienced this or they've experienced that. That's not what you're thinking. And it's kind of, I feel like that subconsciously come from like not trying to be judgmental over people, but when you first meet them, you get me, but like, it's definitely a thing. Like, it's definitely a thing that these problems, these issues that have, you know, just been placed, kind of like when they say you have to deal with the cards you're dealt. That's so true, but you don't always have to be a product of that first hand that you're dealt. Because trust me, you get hands on hands on hands. It's never going to be that same hand. So how are you going to change it? Like, how are you going to change it?
You definitely hit that on the dot.
Y'all just looking at me like
you did good with that one.
It was the nail and the hammer. Good gosh.
Need to take a sip on that one. Sure.
For real, where's my drink? Oh.
That's it.
Look, everybody taking a sip for you. Okay, one time.
I'm gonna take my own sip too.
Right.
Yeah, because we don't even think our parents, like, if you think about it, us growing up, our parents was what, 21 probably when they had us. My dad and mom was 21. Mom already had 2 kids before I was born. So when my dad got with her, she didn't know how to be a mom, even though she already had 2 kids. He was like, no, I'm not letting my 2 girls that I have with you live in this environment. I got to get them out. I'm going to put a good house over them. I'm going to get a good community around them, even though we couldn't go to the hood and peep out the window and look at all that. He tried to keep us together. But when you grow up, he can't hold us together in this little community. You're going to see the world. You're going to see the shootings. You're going to see the violence. So it's like, are you protecting your kids or are you holding your kids back once they're adults? So it's like a catch-22 with parents in it. And like now, my son, he's everywhere. He playing football and all that. But I'm like, do you know, look across both ways across the street from before, oh, ain't no traffic. Like he have no care in the world, these kids now. But us, we have to look both ways, dodge traffic. It's like a different generation, and we got to adapt to it, and we got to learn from our kids because our parents didn't tell us communicating. They didn't teach us that. They say shut up and stay in a child's place and go to your room when you don't want to, when you want to communicate with them. They don't want it all that. But now we have to do that because communication and talking to your kids and talking to your friends and all that, it helps us. It brings better out of us. Like we don't know what's going on if we don't talk about it. So it's like we need that village and we need these great people in the world to make it better. And our parents wasn't there because they didn't have it. You think about it, back in the days of slavery, out of slavery, trying to get the woman to work. So it's like they didn't have that balance that we have right now.
And I used to sneak anyway and still listen to the conversations when they told me to go in the other room.
And then don't have the cousins with you.
No.
Real talk. Don't have the cousins with you because they be at the step too.
Right.
Oh, you heard that girl.
Mhm.
Like,
That's how you get travel.
yo, what's a butt cheek? I heard him say butt cheek, yo.
But on some real, y'all, to kind of piggyback off y'all, in a sense, you know, in regards to this parenting thing, like I was terrified when I became a parent. When I even found out that I was pregnant, I was cussing and everything. You feel me? Like I was just like, oh my gosh, like this is real. Like I'm gonna be somebody's mother. And even 6 years later, I'm still looking at her like, bro, I'm your mother. You feel me? But it's like I've realized that in the midst of me, like having a child is forcing me to heal my child self because she is the reflection of the things that I lack and need to work on. And it's just like, I look at her and I'm just like, bro, like, ooh, I gotta be sensitive. Ooh, I gotta be okay with crying.
What?
I gotta be okay with telling her no. You know, like things like that, things that, you know, we might look like other people might look at as little, but it's super big to us because it's like, yo, I really got a lot of baggage to unpack. Because if I don't, she's gonna be a reflection of me and who I don't want her to be. So when people say I want my child to be better, for me, it's not even the aspect of the accomplishments. It's the aspect of being a better person that loves herself, that recognizes that she is worthy, that recognizes that she actually has the power. She was born with power and nobody can take that if she doesn't give it to them. So like just in that sense of trying to like, just be a better individual, not just a better mother, but being a better individual. I think sometimes as mothers, we kind of surpass the individuality of ourselves. We just want to be the best mother that we could possibly be. But today, on some real, y'all, I'm at a point where it's like, I have to be a better Amor. Who is Amor? That's where it kind of starts. Like, who are you to you? What do you mean to yourself? You know what I'm saying? Like asking yourself those type of questions, like speaking life into yourself, because a lot of times we pouring into people's cups and we don't even have nothing left for ourselves. Nothing. We barely got stuff for our kids. And so much so, we don't have things left for our children that we're just giving them anger, frustration, yelling and cussing and the things that they don't need. So when we get it back in a sense with their tantrums and stuff, we're looking like, well, why are you so angry? Look at yourself.
That's the energy.
For
Mhm.
real. For real. Like that energy transfer is serious. It's real. You know what I mean? I think that when I say this parenting thing ain't easy, it's
It ain't.
not easy. It's
And
not easy, but it's possible.
definitely.
Yeah, Lily, look, you said your parents was like 21. Look, my mom was 13, my father was 15. They was children having children, you know. And people, will always say, because I would have so much animosity, they were like, well, your parents were children when they had you. I said, yeah, but they ain't children now.
Right.
Mhm.
So again, we have to heal that childhood person that still lives in us, really.
You
We
gotta
still have
remember, it takes just as much time to unlearn something than it takes to learn it or to be molded into that way.
right.
So
Unlearn, relearn, man. That's what it is. And it's crazy that we using all these R words, right? Because today I said to a person like release. I'm just happy for the release. Like I'm gonna tell y'all on some real, I've been writing release letters to people. Okay.
I did that
Like
last year.
and when I say it's what am I on my 4th day, Mason? Of writing one letter to a person. Like it's been 4 days. And I'm just like, yo, I know what I want to say, but oh my gosh, this is crazy. This is crazy. But you gotta do it. You gotta do it. It is what it is. This is a part of just not just empowering somebody else, but really empowering yourself, y'all. Let that shit go.
Sometimes
but
people
you're
think
going the right way, because I can understand why you're doing it this way. Because at the end of the day, actual conversation is just, that's what doesn't make sense to you. And it's crazy that something that seems to be deemed as something that is the best thing for all issues and stuff like that is such a barrier at the same time, because it's just things are just so uncomprehended. Makes people feel like the conversation is just, it doesn't make sense. Why am I about to pour all of this out to you, and I know that this piece of communication is not going to go anywhere? I totally get it. Totally get it. Sure.
And you know what else? Somebody asked me, like, what are you expecting to get out of this? Bruh, it's not for this person. It's for me. I'm not expecting to get nothing but the release I need, the healing I need for me. I don't want no long drawn conversation. I don't need you not to take any accountability. That's that part. The accountability. I don't need that. I just need you to know how I feel, because I have suppressed my feelings for so long to allow you to just do whatever the hell you want to do. So now I'm taking my power back, and I gotta do what's best for me.
And you have to, because simply everyone is not raised or not set up or does not, they don't prepare themselves to be the well-rounded people that you actually need to be the person, the people that says that will make the world a better place. I do agree that there are so many people that can make the world a better place. However, that person has to be well-rounded. They have to be healed. Not saying that you have to be totally healed, because healing takes a long time. Trust me, healing takes a long time. But to be that better person, you have to know that you've done something to make yourself better to be able to put that back out. I'll say this as an example. Me and my wife, for an example. I grew up on the little rougher side of things, but her upbringing was better. I didn't grow up in a house with I love yous and stuff like that. I learned to say that when I got older, because my friends showed me love. So it's kind of like, that's kind of like where people say, my friends are my family, because that's a real thing. You build these relationships and you're proud of these bonds, because a lot of people don't even know what it takes for you to create this bond, because no one has told you how to really create a bond that sticks, that's genuine. Sometimes a lot of people create these bonds with trauma, and then it's trauma bonding. Now you feel like you just have this best friend because y'all have all this negative things in common. Okay, I get that. There's nothing wrong with that. I want to see how you heal. I want to see what you do now, and at this big age, in this adulthood. I want to see where we come from. What pulled you out? What are you doing better? I need to see the difference somewhere. That's how I know if you're talking about what you're talking about, if you're really doing what you're talking about. A lot of people like to say, oh, I'm real. Oh, well, are you real enough to go into yourself, maybe daily, maybe weekly, however, to give yourself those reality checks that you need to check in? Oh, well, I didn't do this, right this week. It's okay, critique yourself. Because sometimes everybody else don't have the guts to do it. Not to say the guts to say that they're scared, but sometimes people don't know how to approach a person in a way that they feel is comfortable, where they'll actually be able to comprehend and get the message that they're trying to convey. That's why people
have a drink.
I feel like we make it so hard to allow people to give us those, genuine flows, because don't always think that everybody is just like you, because it's not. It's some people who just coming up to you because they grew up on that love and they just want to say, oh, what's up? I'm just checking in on you, genuinely love you, just wanted to make sure you was good. But we block them out because it's just like, oh, what you want now? You just think all people always want something, but you have to unlearn that. You really gotta unlearn that, because everybody doesn't want something from you. And sometimes, definitely physically, sometimes people are trying to pick up the pieces and meet other people to help them become whole and to give them, those effective things that they need to just wrap their mind around certain things that they might not, experience. We are other people's experiences daily, when we meet them, when we talk to them, however, through jobs, just through walking past, through events. We are other people's energy. So, we are other people's experiences. So what type of experience do you want to be for others? Now, don't get that mixed up with seeming like everybody, gets to deserve your energy, because everybody doesn't. However, that first account, you never know, that can just be the slightest thing for somebody to say, like, damn, why I'm always angry? Or why I always got mean mug? That lady just walked past me and just straight smiled. It's like a curse to just smile, just to be friendly. And I understand, because I used to be that person. I just used to be that person, just like never smiling. And it was never anything against other people. It was just so much within me that I just had to unlearn to just heal from, just to know that type of attitude or that type of, it don't get you far. You feel like that's the right way to protect yourself, and it's not.
To heal.
Right.
Bro, I think y'all started something on this show. Hey, Amore, we need to keep this sip thing going, bro. When somebody says something, you feel me? We need to take a sip. I'm feeling that. Tell you, because I'm sitting back and I'm just loving everything y'all saying right now, just learning more.
Because we gotta heal. We definitely gotta heal. We got to heal. It's like you gotta be. To me, I feel like in my life, I've been through a lot. Some things I wouldn't put on my worst enemy. But like, why are you happy now? I'm like, because I went through some hell. I went through some ups and downs. I went through a lot. It's like, I don't want to go through that anymore. So when I see a next person at my job and they not happy, I'm like, what's wrong? Like, you want somebody to talk to? Because I didn't have nobody to talk to all the time. So you want to talk? Go ahead. Let me hear it. And then I'll give you what I need to tell you. But it's like, some people need it. And if you can't be nice to somebody, it's not going to work. Every day, say something nice to somebody. You never know. You might help somebody from not killing themselves. Or, like one guy at my job killed his wife. He was unhappy. But around us, we would never know that. He was positive. He was uplifting. But he go home, he shot her in the head. Like, he was mad. For some reason, I think she was cheating on him, whatever. But every day he's happy, he's positive. Like, we have to show that. Like, people say, oh, you too bougie, or you too uppity, you too happy. Why can't I be? If you know what I went through in my past, you would be like, girl, I'm glad you happy you ain't shoot up the club, because you was close to killing somebody. I used to fight every day. I used to be mean. Girl, smile. Man, F you. Like, those my first words to somebody when they say smile. Man, things go up and everything. Leave me alone. Now it's like, oh, I'm happy. Thank you. I appreciate it. You got a beautiful smile. Thank you. I appreciate it, because I want that same love back. So we got to start with ourselves and push it out to everybody else.
Facts. I say healing is definitely a practice. And practice, how they used to say practice makes perfect. I say practice makes progress. It don't matter how slow, how fast, progress is progress. And we got to appreciate that. We got to learn how to give ourselves some grace. Because I think a lot of times we just be like, yo, it's not moving fast enough. It's not fast enough. Or some people miss just because the person may not see the progress that you're doing. Don't diminish what you're doing. It's happening. It's happening. And sometimes things are hidden so that people don't see, because some people pray against you. So you definitely gotta realize that too. Like, people that proclaim to love you, sometimes they don't. You gotta, that's why it's so important for us to love ourselves. You know what I mean? So many times we're looking for confirmation, we're looking for everything in somebody else, when really we got everything right here within ourselves that we need. That's why it's very important for people to get to learn who you are. Don't allow people to define who you are. So it's just, yeah, man. Y'all, man. Good God. Look, I need to sit again. Good goodness.
Break walls, girl. You breaking these walls. Woo.
Y'all see that though? I know y'all see that pinky. Yeah, I know y'all see that pinky.
So, ladies, I have another question for y'all, for real, right? And I mean, you know, we've been talking about the healing. We've been talking about everything we could possibly talk about. But right now, I need to know. I just need to know. How do you know for sure when somebody trying to run game on you?
Well,
or are they really interested in you?
It's hard.
It's definitely hard, but I can say over the years, I definitely have deciphered, because let me tell you something. When you enter something with someone else, the mission of theirs, it should always to be to learn you better. The mission of yours, it should always to be able to learn that other person better. Because it should be those days where it gets to, you should not have to ask about certain things. You should just know, oh, this is what does well for this person. This is what, give this person's gratitude. I'm not a materialistic person. And when I first met my wife and got my wife, she was definitely not domestic. Grew up spoiled, spoon-fed as ever. However, she has learned, oh, buy me a purse is not what makes me happy. Let me come into a house, clean house, please, clean kitchen. Like, those are the things that make me feel good. Those are the things that's going to have me running into your arms like, oh my gosh, thank you, babe, not a purse. Not to say that I'm not grateful for those things. However, when it comes to reality and the things, because every day your task is to try to take some of the stress off of your partner, whatever that looks like for you too. That even goes into with this whole 50-50 thing, or whatever the case may be. It's whatever works for you. You never know what it's going to be. It's never going to be 100. Don't ever think that. Even on the days you wake up with the most high energy and you have in your mind that you're set up to do all of these things to make your day complete, it's never going to be 100. Why? Because throughout that day, you lose energy, you lose interest in some of the things that you had to, your interest in before. Like, it just takes all of those things. So it's just like, pull back sometimes. It's just, I don't know. Be what you want another person to be to you. That's, if you think of it about that way, it's not hard, because you're literally giving what you want to receive. Like, it shouldn't be hard. I feel like being a good person should not be hard. However, back to what we said, it takes a healed person to be a good person, because if you're not, you're always going to give people all the things that you feel that made you this way. You're going to give them that.
You feel that. It's not for you, can feel it. You can definitely feel it. If somebody's for you, they want to elevate you. They want to make you better. They're not going to make you worse or make you feel like you're not giving them all. They're going to be like, hey, I see you want to open your business, push for you. Hey, did you check up on this? Did you do that? They're going to elevate you. They're going to make you feel like, yo, this is my partner. But as soon as they feel like you see them not doing great, you're going to be like, this ain't for me. This person ain't for me. They're not helping me develop myself. They're not building me up. They're not giving me the words of affirmations. They're not giving me nothing. Why are you here? But then you realize they here to take from you. They see your light and they want to take from you. They see that you doing music and you on this broadcast and you doing all this. They want that. So they not for you. They for the things you have. And I had to learn that. A lot of people, My last relationship, he wanted everything from me, but gave me nothing back. So I'm like, love myself. I'm going to want for what I want. And if you're not for me, you're going to leave. I can't give you 100 and you give me 5%. So you're going to feel it.
So have you ever dealt with a person that been on some stuff like you tell them how you feel and they tell you you got mama daddy issues and say that's why you want that from me because you got mommy and daddy issues. But I'm like, wait a minute. No, I got an issue with your ass. That's what I'm saying. Like, why you trying to no accountability? Again, how do y'all feel about that?
He basically telling you from the jump, he has issues because your partner's supposed to help you through them issues. And if it's the right person, he's going to see it and you're going to see that you got mommy and daddy issues. What you going to do to help me? I got issues. What you going to help me with? If you're not going to help me, how are we going to fix this? You're telling me, okay, you see it. So what are you going to do about it? I got issues. What can I do to help? Okay, she don't like this. She don't like me yelling, so I'm not going to yell. If I got issues with you yelling, why would you do it? So if you're not communicating, you're not with me, you're against me.
I hate it. I hate it.
I ain't gonna have no damn juice messing with y'all no more. God.
Real good God. I'm glad I got the big bottle.
I feel like situations for me, I feel like looking back, I feel like all my situations were the same in lieu of how things like ended or the type of feelings that were felt throughout the relationship. And I have to look at myself because I didn't change how I gave myself to people. It's like, because it's just like, I'm so stronghold on like people knowing that I'm loyal to them, you know, just giving people me. I'm just a nice person, like, and stuff like that. So it's kind of like, when you are growing, but you're just getting into your growth and the other person isn't growing. So you don't know how to tell that they're not growing yet. So it's just like you're feeding this situation that just, that you're actually surpassing, but you just cannot recognize it because you're still taking your baby steps to get where you are. You just feel like you're growing with this person, but it's really not like that. And then when you try to bring up or certain situations that would feed a relationship, it actually is an argument. Why? Because the person is not comprehending on your level at that point of where you're trying to go, because now you're speaking from a place of where you want to go and where you're trying to move to. However, that person is just like that blockage because, once again, most likely you have outgrown that person and you're just not realizing it. I had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn that definitely the hard way. And because what you give, you will never feel bad. What you give, I don't care how much you try to make yourself feel it or see it, you will never feel it bad. Even in the midst of trying to give the excuses of why this person may not be giving this to you or why they can't or why it's just not pouring out of them, is because they don't want it to. They ain't seeking the growth to get there.
Right.
Like, that was real. That was real.
Yo said, "Yo, my son." You seeking no growth. You my son. Go. You know what? Go get that bottle, boy. Because yo, my son. But we got some comments, y'all. So Nettie Slim says, social media got people thinking they hood therapists, low key trying to diagnose you and fix you, when in reality, they sometimes projecting their own issues.
True.
I don't think hood therapist is about trying to fix anyone, because I feel like therapy is always about a person trying to fix themselves. Mm-hmm. Because that's not something that you can even push on a person, because if a person wants to be better, that's something that's going to be self-inflicted. So I don't think it's about that. I just think it's about awareness, making people aware that, number one, you're not alone. Number two, there's some people who are not afraid to actually get out here and speak on certain things that a lot of people are uncomfortable about. And a lot of people are uncomfortable of these conversations because nobody has properly gave it to them or made them feel that type of level of trying to think and hold accountability and grow is beyond that next person. A lot of times when a person tries such a growth, it's because they're not trying to grow. A lot of times when a person tries to stop you from being a better you, is because they don't want to, or they don't know how to get themselves there. And because y'all might have the same story, or y'all came up the same way, or y'all got some similarities that might have stunted y'all the same before, they don't understand how you keep leveling up while they still sitting there. And that's because all the inside work people claim they don't, they really not doing. It's a scam likely, right? Okay. People
Damn,
just
likely.
Ooh,
like,
Ooh, that's when I'll put people in my phone is scam likely. Good God. Between scam likely and facade, whichever
Yeah.
name they want.
mhm.
Facade's gonna last for so long though.
So bad. And the masks are put there because a lot of people don't know how to actually work hard for what they want. They just know what it takes to get what they want. So that's all they doing. They putting the face mask on to just get to where they want to get to. They ain't not put in the work.
and so for
They
me,
believe in
don't-
fake it till you make it.
Exactly.
Definitely. And that's the crab barrel mentality that gets so many people left in the barrel.
and looking at somebody else's social media, thinking that because they get it, I can do it. No, you don't know how
Social
hard.
media. Speaking of social media, that's crazy. I said that because I am a person who is a firm believer. I do not follow celebrities. I follow, to be honest, Chris Brown, Chica, and like one other person, but that's because I really, really like them. However, like to just look on your timeline and to see stuff that I'm not, and it's not even to say that you will never have, but you're not in the lane to be at that level yet. Work for it. Work for it. You think this person just started making videos and now they got 1 million views in one day? I mean, sometimes it happens like that, but that ain't the reality of it. People lose sight. Social media is the losing. That is the losing streak from some of our generation and this new generation. That is the losing streak right there, because the expectation of what they think they will have, they don't even know how hard they got to work for it, because it just looks so good and they feel like these people got it so fast. So they don't know, or they don't even know how to put in perspective how to even get to that point. Like it's crazy. And a lot of them don't even care to ask the questions to even get to that point.
You had said something earlier that I kind of wanted to like piggyback on when you were saying therapy is really like for yourself and not necessarily for the other people. What y'all probably don't realize is y'all be helping me learn my girlfriend. You feel me? By understanding how different women think, and y'all be having some of the same, thoughts that she be having, but I be kind of learning like, all right, maybe she don't know how to express it, like everything a certain way. So of course, you feel me, like
The process of trying to unlearn something that someone before you made her feel, maybe expressing herself to someone before you, they shut her down in a way that made her uncomfortable to even just be freely enough to even do that, which I can relate to. So yeah.
So I
A lot of things are trauma, and I hate the narrative that you have to be alone to grow, because no, sometimes you can't always point out those big things that you need to see within yourself. Sometimes you can't see that. That's not, and it's not always about being alone. Is isolation to unlearn all the things that you still need to do to be sociable and well-rounded, because it makes you feel like put you in that mindset of, oh, I got me. Yes, you got you, but you gotta know how to coexist with these other people still. You still have to learn and still, grow in that aspect. So I just feel like isolation is cool when it comes to, the heart of things, because sometimes that's the only way people do know how to get through things. However, sometimes it's just the process of them trying to unlearn. And if you know your partner's love languages, sometimes it's important to practice how you're trying to communicate in those ways, instead of we get so it's easy to reform back to your love languages because it comes natural. That's just something that just easily is your nature. However, sometimes they entwine, but a lot of times it don't measure up. It doesn't measure up. You have to learn her in the way of how she receives things. Sometimes, you know, it could be a written letter. Sometimes she might not be in the mood to talk, but but if you were to maybe write her a letter to say how you feel and she write you back, I'm pretty sure all that she wants to say but can't, you know, get it out, it'll come out.
And that's usually how it works better too. Like she's better at like writing things out because it helps her think instead of feeling like, dang, I'm on a spot. I got to try to remember every single thing. And I'll be understanding that too. It used to get on my nerves at first. I ain't gonna say and act like I'm all perfect and I'm still learning. You get what I'm saying? But women and men are so different, but you got to be willing to, you feel me, like learn the person's like habits and how they talk or their traumas, or even with you know, a woman and a woman, you get what I'm saying, or whoever you deal with, you have to really want to passionately learn that person. Like you said earlier, you got to have in your mind, how can I help this person be a better person? You get what I'm saying? People say that all the time, but how many people really go out their way every single day and you incorporate in someone else's happiness with your happiness? It's always good to just say all these things, but when it comes to like putting it into play, that's when they get real.
Yo, these comments, bro. Okay, we're checking out these comments. So we got Kayla. She was like, yes, they want to tag along and make it off your hard work and not theirs. That's why you have to watch who tries to connect themselves to you. It's not always for friendship. She also said, yes, write me a letter, baby. Pour your heart out. LOL.
I like that. That's somebody else's love language, writing letters. But you gotta
for real.
You gotta make them feel safe to come to you at their vulnerability state too, though.
I think what you said her name was Kayla, that comment.
Yeah.
I feel like also with people who come along to that you feel like they just come to take, most of the times they don't know the work that it took for you to get to that spot. And also, I hate that I forgot what I was about to say.
It's all good. You normal.
It's gonna come back.
That comment. When they try to take from you, a lot of times they don't know how to create that person in themselves. So they're trying to see what you do and, you know, to try to get themselves on the same level. However, that's also a way of looking at people being on your level. Level just don't mean finances. Level just don't mean, you know, what they got or it means them wholly, how they're able to communicate, what their thought processes are. How are you guys able to, you know, talk about things where you guys have different insights? Because just because it's different doesn't mean one of you are wrong. Because it's always a way to bring two differences together to try to make some type of compromise. Like, it's just so many ways, but that's a part of the level. Look for that too when you're looking for a person to date. That requires level. How their mind. I want to see what your mind is way before I see what kind of money you got, what kind of car you drive. Like, yeah.
Whole time, like, we need to have a meeting because I need to talk to you. Off the air, bro.
I'm always open.
I'm gonna just say it. I'm gonna just throw it out there. You feel me? But nevertheless, y'all, like, on some real though, y'all are really teaching me right now. You feel me? Like, I really feel like a student in a classroom. Because I think, you know, like you said earlier, you got to be teachable and just taking this all in. You know what I mean? As women, we be like, man, I know what I'm doing. When really we don't know squat. We don't know nothing. Mm-hmm. I'm still learning. I'm still learning myself. You know what I mean?
I love people to come to me and be like, hold up, because you did what? Now, you know, like, I am that person. I am a big accountability person. So I hold myself to such a high standard. And I expect my friends to too, because girl, don't be like me out here doing nothing like that. Like,
crazy. Like, looking like Boo Boo the fool.
Go back and
out here looking like Summer Walker a little bit. No, don't do that to me.
Sometimes what we feel like is the rational action to take, sometimes it shouldn't even be an action at all. So you just gotta learn how to choose those battles, and don't let nobody steal your energy and your joy, period. Like, make sure they on your level. When they come around,
what?
it's just as chipper as you. How many times in a week do you wake up out your bed and wake up with a smile? I need to know these things. Like,
Okay.
it is
So,
that serious. Let the people know, yes,
uh,
it is that serious, because at the end of the day, whatever you don't check in the beginning, you cannot be mad that it resurfaces later down the line, because you need to look at yourself because you ain't check it. You ain't check it. You can't
um,
always, you can't be mad at somebody not revealing the real them when you ain't checked them.
dude,
You,
check
you
at the
ain't check,
front door.
Really,
people gonna bring you what they feel gonna get you. People,
Facts.
it just, you gotta check them. Hold yourself accountable. That's like a parent sending their kid to school and never checking their grades, and then at the end of the year, be like, "Oh, y'all never told me my child was failing. You ain't checked
That
them."
you know that happened a lot. You know it happened a lot.
Mhm.
So Kayla holding down the comments. I'm gonna just say it. She said, "Agreed. This generation can be shallow. There's not a lot of emphasis on getting to know the core of who people are. I've definitely learned that some takers have learned that behavior, and if you're a giver, you have to know boundaries because takers know none. Yes, I tell people all the time, my energy is my currency. I can't afford for you to take any of that from me. My energy nor my peace. It's mine." That's what she said. It's mine. Well, hers, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. But yeah, for sure.
Be serious. I like you, Kayla. You serious about yourself, as you should, especially as a woman. You should be serious about yourself. It's just, being a woman is so powerful, and a lot of women don't even know that. They don't even know that we are the carriers of so much, but because they can't see the full picture of what a woman breeds, because a lot of time we're lack there, because there's always something missing or there's a void. And a lot of people don't know how to come back from those voids. They keep it a void and they keep it as a resentment type of thing and something to use as a crutch. Oh, I just talk like that because that's just how I am. Well, you can't talk to me like that, and that's okay to tell a person. Be serious
Okay.
about themselves. Like,
And Kayla said, period.
it's okay to do that. Like, it's literally okay, because at the end of the day, women protect themselves just as hard as they protect everybody else. Women is the person who protects. Not to say that men does not protect. Not to
Right.
say that when it comes to this down and dirty stuff, who y'all see on the scene every time? Let's be real.
Woman.
Let me tell you.
Why? Because
With lions and lioness, who protect? The lioness protects.
Mhm.
I'm just being honest. Like, in chess,
And there's so
who
many
protect?
alpha
The
females out
queen.
here that's scared to be their alpha selves, because there's so many men who feels like being an alpha is this masculine energy. It's not even about masculine energy. It's about making myself feel protected and what's being voided. That's it. That's all. It's
No,
giving me myself that protection in the space where it feels voided. So yes, if I don't have, in most instances, a man that's come take out my trash, all right, well, I'm taking my trash. So when you see me taking out my trash, who else gonna do it? It's just it's a habit that is created mostly by single women who usually is doing it all alone. It doesn't mean that they don't want a man who probably to come in to, do all of these things for them. It's just that they had to do it alone for so long, and they probably seen their moms do it alone for so long. It's literally a trickled effect. So it's not that they don't want it. They don't. It's not a requirement. It's not a requirement. It's a want. It's something that adds that spice or that little razzle that women feel like they want to be seen as in their whole picture. Like,
but nobody wants to be single, and nobody want to be a single mom either. So
Hell
like,
no. It's hard as a
man,
bench press out here. You heard me.
we
God.
want that man. We want that
Yeah.
rest of a man to take care of us and take the trash out. We not. If I tell anybody, don't have no kids if you're not married. Even if, I didn't do it on purpose. I didn't know I was pregnant, but
It just be
it's
like
not
that.
what we want. We don't want this, but we have to be that masculine woman because we don't have a man in the house. But we need it. Like back in the day, we had men in the house and we didn't have to work. So we can flip and say we can still work and have a man in the house, or a man and man, woman and woman. You need a partner. You need a partner in crime. God
I
made
feel like guys need to respect women's boundaries just like they want women to respect their boundaries.
yeah.
And the sense of what makes them feel complete as who they are. Don't try to dim their whatever just because you feel like that's something that they shouldn't be doing or that you would rather do. You can't dim their light because who's going to do it for them if they don't? Like,
I think all of that
So-
stuff comes into play with the whole, like you said, checking it at the door. So I think a
Checking
lot
it
of
at
stuff
the
starts
door.
with, yeah.
Do the pat
agree.
down.
because my wife, I mean, she's not a man, but she straight let me know at the door, like the type of things, how she did things. Like, I don't like for you, I don't want you to do this, I don't want you to do that. Like,
The balance.
it wasn't something that I was used to because I am definitely alpha female, and in a lot of my relationships, I took that dominant role,
Mhm.
as taking care of the house, just taking care of a lot of things. So it kind of just, it's just a thing. However, I became appreciative of it because when I first met her, I was starting my second leg of college. And just to know that someone had my back to say, okay, you chill on working on all of this, like you still get focused on your studies. That was new to me. However, for a long time, it was like, we're not doing that. Oh, I'm not doing that. Like, that's not what I do. Like, I'm not no stay-at-home person. Like, but it was just like, why are you even doing all of that? Like, why are you upset that someone wants to alleviate some stress? But it's just because I was just so conditioned to just do it all myself. It's
What other
possible,
people would call being difficult.
right? But I mean, it's possible. It's possible to unlearn some of those habits to, because at the end of the day, what is it hurting? Trust me, you want to feel the other side of what you ain't never felt before. It's scary. Don't get me wrong. Like, it's so scary to grow into. But trust me, you want it. Like, you want it. Ladies, y'all want it. Y'all don't want
So
to.
look, we're gonna speak that into existence for us. So we want the other side where we could just chillax a little bit, wiggle our toes, put our feet up, you know what I'm saying? Like that's it. So when we got Kayla back in the comments before we introduce this new topic, but we got Kayla in the comments. She said, once you know your worth, it's a dangerous place to be. It took her a while to learn hers, but once she did, woo, child. So she said, what you allow will continue. So we definitely gotta put those boundaries and barriers to these particular things, no matter how much you care for a person, no matter how much you like a person. Like and love yourself first, y'all. But here we go. We got this new segment, and I gotta introduce it, y'all. Is a get to know you better. So we just trying to get to know you better, and y'all can get to know us better. So Mason, you got the floor.
All right, so ladies, we're gonna do this new segment. This is something that me and Amor came up with, where it lets the fans get a better idea of who you are. Now, don't think too deep on these questions, but of course, be honest. But the questions is not going to be like super serious questions. It's going to kind of more be on the fun side, but it's still going to be things that, people will want to know about you, right? So we can start with Lily, and then we'll let Kira answer. So we're gonna ask one question, but both of y'all gonna answer both the questions. So we just doing this for the order. So that way Lily been on here. Even though this is her first time doing this segment, we wanted to take the pressure off. I ain't want to put you first, Kira.
You still ain't subscribed to New Era 410 podcast on YouTube?
It's crazy about you.